No, Chris, I'm not going to acknowledge you during the opening sequence. I'm trying to focus on all these ideas I can't write down. My name's Shawn. That's my friend Chris Ford, aka The Objective Geek of YouTube and Twitter. And today we are finally discussing, for us again, Book 4 of Legend of Korra. It's Book 4 Balance, Chapter 11, Kuvira's Gambit. We covered this like 2 months ago, and I messed it up. And wait, Chris, you being serious right now or not? I can't tell. uh,
Sorry, people who's just listening. I was pretending like I was talking to make it seem like I was on mute.
that's
Because Sean wants to mute me, silence me, but he can't.
well, okay. I was gonna do it
What you
until you said
can?
silence me, and then it got like way more like socio-political. So now I can't do it. But I was functionally gonna mute you.
Yeah.
That's it. Nothing more to read into that. My name is Shawn Taylor. That's Chris Ford. Thanks for listening to Avatar: The Last Podcasters, and we will probably not recreate our feelings accurately. But long story short, first time we recorded this, I messed it up, and then we've been like really dragging things out ever since then. So we're talking about Kuvira's
This,
Gambit. But Chris, before we jump in to
our
Kuvira's
recording
Gambit,
this season has been weirdly worse
we
than the than like than like we've done this podcast now for probably 4 years. So
yeah, I think we're
this is
banking
probably
on four.
our well, we've done at least 100 episodes. I know for some reason the last like within the last 5 or 6 recordings, there's been some type of issue or we postpone things or
Well,
something.
and let's not
But
make any mistake. This is like all Shawn caused issues and errors and such. Like, I'm not ashamed to admit it. I try to apologize when I do stuff wrong, and I really try not to do stuff wrong. But mostly, yeah, operator error on Shawn's end. But it's been a weird slate. Busy summer too. Definitely a busy summer. I'll give you that. Um, but hey, before we jump into the actual episode, Chris, how you doing? What videos you got coming up on the horizon?
shoot, videos. I thought it's legitimately not crossed my mind in a month or so about even creating a new video. So no new videos on the horizon. See, this week has sucked for various reasons. Whatever. But but I am excited to talk about Avatar.
I am sorry this week has sucked for various reasons. I will have a video coming out if you're interested in Switch games. I'm gonna make a video about Switch games. Should be out by now ish. And I say that knowing we record into the future a little bit, so I'm not done yet. But if I say it now, and to avoid making myself a liar, then I have to motivate myself to go finish it. So I'll put out a Switch games video very soon. If you like Switch games, you should watch it, please, and tell me if it sucks or if it doesn't suck. Chris, let's talk about Kuvira's Gambit. Whatever,
Kuvira's
what we
Gambit,
can remember,
the episode that I watched probably a month ago,
at
reviewed.
least, at
Uh,
least.
yeah, Kuvira is on the precipice of taking over the whole entire Earth Kingdom, and she wants to take over Public City. And this is when she was becoming like, well, she been taking over Zafu. She already became like unreasonable because right, because her whole original reasoning was like, oh, everything's out of control. There's bandits running around. Like we need to take charge and stuff. So she brought order to every single colony that she had to, and now she was like, well, I need Zafu. She took that over, even though she didn't need to. Now she's like, I need Republic City. Like Avatar
Zafu is kind of
Aang,
like Wakanda. Like,
yeah.
I get
So
it.
like she really, I feel like she really wanted the resources more than anything,
Yeah.
and just like that was like to me Zafu even more so than Republic City almost, because Zafu seems like a utopia. Republic City just seems like yeah, you built this great monument, but there's shady stuff on the inside. Like, like our leaders are terrible. We got a bunch of gangs going around. Like they probably claim to be the best city in the world, the same way that America claims to be the best country in the world. But like you look deep underneath, and like, I don't know why you would make that claim. But
Republic City is the United States of America, and Zaofu is like one of those really happy, like
yeah,
northern European Swedens or
yeah, like
whatever.
yeah, like sometimes and I am guilty. Sorry, I'm about to get on some political soapbox, sort of. Uh, but like, I remember having a conversation with Mo, who's from
The
this was probably
Caribbean,
like
but I don't
10
remember
years
which
ago.
island.
He's from Grenada. But we're talking about there's that clip from the newsroom where I forgot his name, who's in Dumb and Dumber, the actor. He was like, "You guys say America's number one, but we're like, we ranked this in education, we ranked this and this, we ranked number one in incarceration per capita. Like, what the heck are we great at that we claim to be so great at?" And Mo was telling me that he was like, "Yeah, Chris, I watched the clip. Like, why is America like the best country in the world?" I'm like, man, I still held on to and this was like in 2011 or something, maybe 2012. I feel like I've come such a long way since then. Lots of stuff has changed since then. But even at that point, I was like, oh, because we're what people strive to be, and stuff. And I think I still held on to this notion that we were the best country in the world. But I still had the thought of like, why would I think that? Like, I haven't been to other countries. Like, we do have a very large, um, uh, imprisonment rate. We probably have the most. I'm pretty sure we have the highest imprisonment in the world, definitely per capita. When we claim things of freedom, one thing I've always been hypocritical of our claims of freedom and our claims of democracy because we have like one of the least truest forms of democracy to call it a democracy. Like, we vote for people to do things like we it's not a true democracy. It's not the truest democracy. It's a democracy without a doubt, but it could be more democratic, definitely. Um,
Could be a little more a little less representative and a little more real.
like we let nine people decide everything when it comes to like, hey, should we upload this? Let's let the nine people decide on it. Like, and you think about how those nine people were selected, like four of them, actually, I think more than half of them were selected based off of a president that didn't get the popular vote in their election. So it's like, whatever. I don't know how I got on this soapbox. Sorry,
No,
but
listen,
anyway,
it's a good
we're not.
place to get. It's a good place to get out these soapboxes. Chris, I would tell you my answer to that question when it comes up, or that thought process, that those thought process is that okay, you know what? America's probably not number one in the world, and it's the perception that like we all like. Do you remember the Daniel Tosh joke
Yeah,
where
yeah,
he?
yeah, I
Yeah,
do.
and I think of that every time. I was like, it's really the fact that people like the flag waving of like America's the number one country in the world. It really doesn't feel like we are. But it's like if you just lowered your standards and were like America's top 10, and everybody else would be like, that's fair. And I would
Yeah,
be like, okay,
tempted.
you
I'm cool with tempted.
I mean, it's not
Uh,
that we know that it's not that I know that we're top 10. I've been a lot of countries, but it feels like
Now, hey, I will say this: some countries are god awful.
some
Like,
countries are listen, some countries
like
are real bad, and I
it,
can't.
countries in okay. This sounds like one thing. Countries I've been to that just
That's a
uh
bad place
like
right there.
yeah like Ecuador is not necessarily that great in certain spots. El Salvador is like
El
and then I
Salvador
bring up
is messed up. Nicaragua's got high crime rates and freshwater sharks.
yeah.
So
You might be wondering why we're bringing up these specific countries is because we because
Oh
we did a
yeah,
lot of
me and
business
Chris are not
and
racist against Latin Americans. We actually, it's quite the opposite. No,
like,
we worked
uh,
in the Latin American department at Payless Shoe Source, and Latin America is very successful. And we had a select number of countries that we dealt with, and so in the Caribbean and in Latin America, and we are more
in
familiar
Central
with those
America, yeah,
countries
Latin
than we are
America.
any other countries outside of
Yeah.
North America.
Oh,
Uh,
and like yeah, sure. And of course, North Korea is like the worst of the worst, and then
it's
Russia is like, why I don't want to live over there. Like,
no kidding. It's too far of a tangent, but we're already down this rabbit hole, and I kind of like this. This is a weird deal, but like in the itty bitty town that I came from, like 20, there's literally 20 people that live in this town, and there's a bar. not so long away, not so far away from there, like 20 minutes or so, there are some farmers that are essentially laborers from South Africa. And I don't remember how it works, but they're here either 6 months at a time or 9 months at a time. And they only go back like once, like for Christmas or something like that. But their stories about South Africa are so terrifying. And they're from like the quote unquote the
The good
good part,
part.
the good part
Yeah.
of South Africa that's like industrialized, I guess is maybe the nicest. Like, they're from the good part, and it's like, yeah, it doesn't get better as you go north. Um,
Yeah.
and that's why they're happy to stay here and just work and send money back. So long story short, it's funny that in a place like St. Leo, that is the most sheltered place in the most center of America that you could possibly dig up, and yet there's these two guys from South Africa is like, you know what, could be worse.
It the thing is like, hey, you know what? I love this country. I love it more than it's loved me, without a doubt. I think the founding fathers had a few really great ideas. I wouldn't hold everything they said to such high regard, because they had certain ideas that wouldn't paint me as a black person the best light, or have the population of women or poor people.
Well,
They're really like, hey, rich. That being said, I love the ideas of this country without a doubt, and I hold them to such high regard. And I wish we truly enacted them and lived by a lot of them, and hope that one day our country will strive and become, the that live up to that idea, no matter how, um, I guess, hypocritical its implementation was. But
and the fact that you're still here because you care about those ideals. Otherwise, we'd be researching much harder what the top country is.
yeah, yeah. If I had to. I mean, Canada doesn't seem that bad. Like
Yes,
we crap on Canada all the time, but
I don't
like,
even crap on
yeah,
Canada. I just knew I wouldn't survive because it was cold.
I,
So even if it really is number one, I'd still be
that's
like,
true.
would I rather be
That's fair.
unhappy but warm?
Yeah,
That being said, I stand by my statement. I'll just be like, I'm just gonna pull the Daniel Tosh. Like America's like, we're top 10, and I'm just gonna
yeah.
stick with that statement.
And the thing is, like, even if we were number one, even if we were like the best country,
You want to get
you, you
better,
can still get better. Yeah, you can still be better.
especially when there's
Uh,
this many people in your massive number
yeah.
one country. You still like, all right, problems to
Anyway,
solve. What problems can we solve today? Number one, no. Different subject altogether.
uh,
Chris, that was weirdly patriotic segment. I loved it.
yeah. Started off kind of crapping on it, but I always
Okay,
try to
but
end on a high note and positive.
it is hyper parallel to the subject matter that's occurring in this episode A, and B, it's one of the things that we like about Korra. And when we always talking about like, Korra feels like more real, and it's these big real subjects. Well, that's how easy it is to compare what we feel in Korra to relatable feelings and things in real life. Korra, that's why we love you.
Yeah.
It's probably why lots of people maybe don't love you, but I get it.
Sure.
That being said, I don't remember
All
where we
right,
were.
so Kuvira, da, 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 Julie is back, and she tells them that um, Kuvira plans on attacking in like 3 weeks. Da, da, da. There was, they do have a meeting without. Wait, what is it? They have a meeting. Oh no, I don't want to fast forward. Okay, anyway, Cora decides that she's going to go and like stake out and preemptively go and try to at least. Oh, she wants to take out the train tracks, I think. And she finds out that Kuvira's actual Gambit is isn't like it's actually Kuvira is traveling the big giant spirit cannon on this big mech suit and a really huge freaking mech suit, and it attacks Korra as. Oh, one thing I want to say: this show doesn't. So usually Y7 shows are they can't show people die. And I don't know how the heck Brian and Mike got away with stuff in Legend of Korra. Like when Jet died, he you don't there's like a 0.5% chance that he could come back, right? But like in Legend of Korra, they're like, yeah, that person died. Like that person died. We know that person died. So Kuvira has this like spirit cannon, and she aims it at this like outpost, and then she just blows it up. And you see the people in it, but you don't see people being like, oh, or anything like that. She just
Well,
blows the crap up.
they didn't die. They were disintegrated, and that's better somehow in the minds of
That
television.
is that is true. You can't get shot in the head, but you can get completely,
Be
yeah, disintegrated.
vaporized.
Yeah, vaporized.
They were just
Uh,
reintegrated in a happier place. They were reintegrated in heaven, and that's they didn't die. They
you know, you can get vaporized because maybe in well, one thing is it's probably fine because kids will never have the chance to get their hands
a,
on
a Daffy Duck caliber
on a
disintegration gun.
yeah. I guess just wait 200 years and people will be fighting for the rights for people to have their hands on disintegration guns. Um, so
It's gonna be like those damn Moonraker
the
lasers from 007
the
games.
the founding fathers wanted me to have this ray gun. Damn it! There's this Key and Peele
You say
skit.
as you load your spirit rifle with some kind of purple plasma shit.
Yeah.
Am I right? Oh my god.
There's this a Key and Peele skit where they go back in time because they want to stop the Second Amendment from being like they would just want to like alter it a little bit to be one not to just pretty much give carte blanche to NRA and stuff. But like they go back in time. One thing they're like white people. They're you know how Key and Peele does. Like sometimes they're dressed as white people. That's one thing you couldn't be a black person going back in time
Right, that's
to
not a
the
good way to
writing of
get
the
an amendment
Declaration of
overturned.
yeah. So they go there and then
Black people going back in time. That's a terrible premise for a movie. Nothing good's gonna come out of this.
they go there to the writing of Declaration of Independence, and like one guy has the time traveler guy has his gun, and it's a modern day gun, and he's like, "No, you guys can't sign that." And then he takes the gun, he shoots the Declaration of Independence or the Constitution. He shoots the Constitution, and he's like, "That's why you can't sign it. Like, you see what these guns do? Like, they're more than just muskets that with balls. Like, these are heavy automated weapons." And they're like, "Oh my gosh!" The founding fathers are, and then they're like, "Did you see that? Did you see the rate at which it fired?" Hamilton or someone, hurry up, jot it down, and they write it down, and like they like draw it and stuff, and then the guys like automatic weapons turn into like these laser guns because the founding fathers then we're able to like expedite the technology of guns. Like it didn't stop. And then like it just kept like looping itself to make grander and grander
So
weapons.
what was the payoff? What was the largest weapons they were holding before the
Oh,
end of the
I
skit where
forgot.
all hell broke loose?
Yeah, I forgot. But you know that's how Key and Peele does. Like it just things just escalate.
That's fantastic. I was gonna say I presume that eventually there was just like a nuclear explosion and they just all
That could be it. One of my favorite Key and Peele skits is like there's the one where they're like getting ready for an MMA fight and 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 one guy's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna beat him up. I'm gonna mercy hurt him," and the other guy's like, he's kind of like this like spiritual person. He's like, "I will, I will break him until his soul is no more." And the guy's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna punch him." Wait, what did he say? He said he's gonna break him. And then the guy was like, "God's lessons are so beautiful, and I am his instruments, and I will show him." And then he's like, "Wait," he said what he's gonna do? And he knows like it's just a fight. We're just hyping up the fight, right? And then he's like, "Wait, you can't find him? He went missing." And then he shows up behind him and like puts him in a chokehold. And then there's this other one that I like where where they're like in the press boxing press conference And one guy's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna beat him up." And the guy's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna take him home, and then I'm gonna screw him in the ass." Like talking like Mike Tyson. It's like, what? He's like, "Yeah, yeah, I'm gonna screw you in the ass. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna treat you right. I'm gonna take you out to dinner, and I'm gonna yeah, I'm gonna kiss you. And I'm not gonna come on to you too hard because that's too hard. And then I'm gonna screw you in the ass. And it's like, wait, what? You're gonna take me out to wait, he's like, did he say he's gonna take me out to dinner? Yeah, I'm gonna take you out to dinner, a real good dinner. And one day, and then we're gonna be dating, and then we're gonna get married, and then we're gonna be like that couple that like aren't annoying to other couples, but like we're really good, and people know they're gonna be like, yeah, him and him go really good together. And then I'm gonna take you home, and then I'm going to screw you in the ass so bad. And then and then he's like, wait, what is he talking about? And it's like, and then one day we're gonna be married, and we'll have kids, and then you're gonna get into retirement, and then you're gonna go back to work a little bit, and I'm gonna support you, and I'm gonna do everything for you. And then one day you'll be on your deathbed, and then and only then will I screw you in the ass. Yeah. And the guy's just like, huh. And then they like get in each other's face like, no, no, I'm gonna beat you know how fighters do in those
Yeah,
press conferences and
it's
stuff.
really
And
weird.
then
I
yeah.
can't be okay with it.
And then it's like 3 months later. And they're like together as a couple, talking with their friends about about just like
How they met.
literature or
Oh,
stuff like that. I don't know.
this I know that everybody's favorite is the urban substitute teacher, right? Okay, I get it.
Oh yes.
That's great.
Jaquella.
Okay,
Jaquella.
it's amazing.
Aaron.
It's probably their
Yes.
best work. But my personal favorite, just because I'm a fan of football, is the football All Star Game one because
Oh my gosh. Wait.
you hear all the players' names and they're just
Yeah.
outrageous names. Just Chris, you correct me if there's a better way to say it, but just the most outrageous black people names that you could possibly contrive. And you just go through and you're just laughing at the names and you think that's it. And then the last player is John Smith from BYU. And I almost fucking have a heart attack every time I hear that.
Uh, I like the other football one where like the touchdown celebration and like he only gets like he can't do more than two humps of the ball.
Before
And
he
the
gets
ref,
flagged.
yeah, before he
Yeah.
gets flagged. And he's like, and he's like, the ref was like out,
Or
like
no, his
up
kid's like
close to
leaning
him.
into him.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Anyway.
great. Every time I hear John
Sorry.
Smith at the end of that, because by the time I'm laughing so hard at the names, at the other names, and then all of a sudden you hear John Smith, BYU.
Yeah. Anyway, this episode. Sorry, I feel like I haven't got into this episode too much
Okay,
yet
we're
because
gonna put a timestamp in this one. We will put a
I
real
mean,
timestamp at 23 minutes
okay.
and 19
Um,
seconds.
Also, one thing I like about this episode, Prince Wu is seeming more leadership. Like he comes up with a good plan. He talks to the people to evacuate them in a very calm manner, which shows he's really maturing, which I think is good character wise, because his decision at the end of this, you probably could have. He's showing himself as a more capable and competent leader, but by the end, he's like, I think we should have democracy. Oh gosh, back to what? No tangent.
Chris,
Um,
we gotta go to bed at some point.
that's true.
I would on
Is
Prince Wu. It's a little too stark of a turnaround. Like we just got done with Remembrances, where he was still being pretty annoying, not super annoying,
mm,
but pretty annoying. And then 2 episodes
yeah.
later, he's like leading an evacuation. But I mean, whatever. It's a little stark,
I
but
mean,
it's fine.
it's just an evacuation. It's not like he's like, oh, I've now come up with this 12-step plan to get us back on. I don't know, thing.
That's fair.
Um,
It's still just like like a good positive reaction. So, but good for him.
yeah.
Good for him.
One thing I do like about this when they do they do a little montage of him doing the evacuation, and they do a little callback to like early episodes in book one. Like they show that hobo guy, and it's like grab a friend and get out of the city, get to the nearest evacuation spot. And the hobo grabs this policeman who's about to like capture him because he's frying up fish near the pond. It's the same hobo that like Korra fried fish with. firebending fish with. And it also shows that I think his name is
It makes
Tano,
me think
who
of the hobo in Batman Begins with the coat.
uh,
It's a nice coat.
nice coat. This is a nice coat.
It's a great
They're gonna be
callback.
looking for they're gonna be looking for me. Ooh, everyone.
Everyone.
Oh, okay. This is a nice coat.
It's a nice
And
coat.
then I do think that I'm not sure if I like that line, because when he gets Falcone, right, and then Falcone's like, "Who are you?" He's like, "I'm Batman." He headbutts him, and then Falcone, and then he looks up at the hobo. He's like, "Nice coat." And he leaves. I guess I'm fine with it. That's Christopher Nolan doing a little bit of comedy. Just a
That is,
coincidence,
I
but
love it just because it's that stupid.
okay.
It's not necessary. It doesn't hurt anything. It just it's
Yeah,
goofy
it's
Shawn
harmless. Yeah.
stuff.
And
Nice
then we
coat.
also see, I believe his name is Tano. Is it Tano? The wolf bats,
I mean, Tana
uh,
sounds right, but I can't remember off the top of my head.
bending
No,
that the leader of the wolf bats, bending guy. So that's little callbacks to book one, which feels like such a long time ago. Um, so Prince Wu does that, and he does it fairly well. Calms the city down. Team Avatar goes and tries to intercept Kuvira, and she knocks him out. She kills like some people, and she takes out like a mountainside. And Korra's pretty much like, "Holy crap! Like this is how are we gonna deal with this?" Um, there was something. Kuvira's Gambit. Oh, we had a conversation last time that I don't know if we would call it a Gambit. Oh,
because I
the
literally didn't know what a gambit was.
yes. Yes. Oh, and then dang it, Shawn. It was a good conversation. Made me seem a little bit smart because I came up with the definition of it and I looked it up and I was right. But now the definition of gambit is like a chance you take and
It's
a
like your
risky
final, your
chance.
big chance, like you're kind of all your chips in. I think is the way you
Yeah.
described it initially, and that turned out to be a pretty accurate description.
Yes. Um, yeah, man. Oh, one scene I really like is when they first introduce Kuvira's mech suit. It's done in like this really like kind of found footagey kind of directing, right? Because it's kind of through the lens of the people on the outpost, and like it starts at the ground level. And it's just this huge freaking mech suit, which I mean, I like the mech suit, the giant mech. I think it works. Some people don't like it, and I kind of get why people don't like it. It's kind of another leap, I guess, in Legend of
We
Korra.
talked when we talked before, and I'm not going to try to rehash the whole conversation, but just to stick to my original point, it's not my favorite just because I feel like there's a more intelligent
Oh,
all-terrain
yes,
weapon.
I remember our conversation around the
Yeah,
mech suit
like I
now.
would still just
Uh,
rather have a really big all-terrain tank of some
Yeah,
sort
you're
that
saying that you would rather have the spirit cannon like mounted on like a an eight-legged type of deal.
yeah, just any
Was that
that
okay?
yeah, something similar to that. Just the idea of like there could be a better, like the sheer height of it is intimidating but functionally. But that bit
Yeah,
like that like at a nitpicky level because we're
yeah.
nerds, so I like mech suits. Like I'm pro mech
I
suit.
I like the mech suit. I like its design. I like that they didn't give it like a head because that would kind of
Yeah, because
be
it doesn't need a
uh
head. It needs
yeah, it doesn't need a head.
needs a dome, a center, I guess, like a command
Yeah.
central.
I think I like it because it can ward. It's built to defend the cannon. Like the cannon isn't stationary. Um, So I think I like it. I think it works for me.
I'm
Um,
fine enough with it. Like it wouldn't be my first
all
choice,
right.
but it's not like it's that far down my list.
Yeah. Um, I am really interested to see what weapon of like this to me is the weapon of mass destruction. And I'm really curious what the heck is considered a weapon of mass destruction
In
in
Yang
the
Chen's
ancient
time.
era.
Yeah, it's
Because like
been.
what
I've stayed awake
like
thinking about that, Chris, and I got nothing. It's got to
like
be something spiritual though.
yeah, of course. It would have to be like maybe
I think they've got like a spirit on their side or something. Like it's gonna be like a weird culty. Like the spirit's gonna help us
I,
take over. So
Yeah, I mean, it must be a spirit that we're not used to, because Tuan Lee probably would have already been turtles at this, not turtles,
Well, if you
goat,
think about the
not
spirit world too, like it's
fish.
sort of infinite possibilities of what it could be
Hmm.
in terms of being a spirit that,
Yeah,
so it's
I
like
mean,
a
it could
good
be a
way to
line.
go for new content anyway.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see, um, because we were introduced to new spirits in the Kyoshi novels. Like Father Glowworm is a new spirit. The uh, and he went toe to toe with Korok. Like that is like Korok's really main villain. You're kind of surprised it's not Code the Face Stealer. The Final Glowworm was the one that he fought. I don't know how long it was. I think it was like at least a couple of days. I think it might be even longer
Yeah,
than that. It was a very intense, prolonged fight. So I'll be really excited to see what new spirit they come up with.
agreed. I've literally laid awake thinking about it, but yeah, no, the
And if
the
it's and it would
to
have to be a spirit. There's no way it couldn't be a spirit because like technology in ancient time would be way like there was and
pre
it could have
metal
been.
benders. What are you gonna fabricate that is like? Are you gonna like
It,
get the swamp benders to like physically move the swamp and have like
I mean,
a
it would have
poison
to
ivy take
be.
over?
I mean, it would have to be just pre locomotive, pre steam engine type of stuff because that would have probably just came
Substantially, we are
around.
talking. Yeah, we are talking boats being bent by water benders. I think, right? Like,
Yeah,
uh, yeah, I think it has to be. But then, like I said, to your point, what you're getting at here is it's not the mech suit is not the weapon of mass destruction. The mech suit is just a like transport and
mm,
defend the
yeah,
spirit cannon itself. The rest of the mech suit just metal benders moving stuff.
yeah. It's Kuvira. She's using the metal, which is why she one of the reasons why she invaded Zafu. Well, I guess it was just an added benefit. She got the meteorites from Suyin, which are more kind of malleable than metal is. So probably was the best like controller. Like imagine like those balls in a mouse, right? Those when back in the day when mouse had balls in them. You remember people would take them
Mouse
out and then they would
balls.
get lost.
You take them out and your
But they
computer
would,
teacher get mad at you and they roll across the floor.
yeah, yeah. Um. Anyway, so Kuvira attacks Republic City. She like lays waste to like all these ships and stuff, and they have to surrender. Um, And yeah, President Ryko, I mean, I guess he does the right thing. I mean, whatever.
He's done
So
worse
anyway,
things.
yeah. Julie and Varric, I believe this is the episode they reunite. It was a really
Huh?
nice little moment. And Varric, he kind of just accepts her back, but she yells at him because she's like, no, I'm like, you gotta treat me like an equal. And I don't know, just a nice little moment between
It's
them
a
two. I feel like I had more to elaborate on the last time, but
Well, I think it's the idea that we don't get the payoff here, right? Like she yells at him, but there's not like really
yeah.
satisfying ending. And so I remember the first time I watching this being a little heartbroken. I was like, "Varric, you monster!" But then
Oh,
with the
okay.
the payoff coming
Hmm.
next episode, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no, I remember feeling because I'm a big
Yes.
Varric
Yes.
guy, right? And so the first time I saw, it, I was like, "This is hard to watch. How could you?"
Yep. Um, so they're like, hey, what the heck do we do? So Korra comes up with this plan that going to kidnap Batar Jr. because Batar Jr. created the whole thing, and he would have a good idea of how to stop it. So they do some really good stealth type of stuff. And I do want to bring up like in my ongoing Core versus Aang debate, or at least me taking Korra's side for the most part on things. Korra is trained in like different arts. She's trained in the art of stealth. Like she's doing these like signals and stuff. Like she's been. I am uh, very sure that she's been trained in pretty much every aspect of fighting and probably ninjutsu. If, they should have. They don't have ninjas in this show. That's actually an interesting thought. They also don't have samurais.
They
Huh.
need they need ninjas. This show needs ninjas. But
This show
the
does
Blue
need
Spirit kind of
ninjas.
has samurai sword.
No, those aren't samurais. But he is a ninja. To me, he's a ninja.
Yeah, okay. They tried. They
Like
need some
someone,
more
there's
ninjas.
no like, there's no like, ooh, you know what they really? Oh, they have the Dai Li. I was
Oh
gonna say what they
yeah.
need. I was gonna say what they need is a secret, a secret group that's secretly. You know how so like the DC universe has the League of Shadows, right? It's like the secret co-op group that is like trying to rule the world in the shadows, and there's like just a group of ninjas, like. And then I started thinking about like, oh wait, that's the Dai Li.
Yeah, that's
But
close
also the
enough.
Dai Li though is I kind of need one that's like
You just want one
more
that's more ninja. That's all.
probably. Maybe I guess the opposite. Uh, I guess the opposite of the White Lotus, but not the Red Lotus. The Red Lotus is all about like
They're too
chaos,
public.
chaos,
They're big.
chaos.
Yeah, that's not a League of
Yeah.
Shadows show.
While like
Chris,
this group,
what if the White
we
Lotus is the League of Shadows that you're looking for?
I guess. Although to me they seem too handoffish. Like they
More
seem
like
like
coming out
they
when
are
you need us
mostly
bad.
yeah, they seem like they're mostly about sharing culture and ideas together in a very harmonious way.
That's
While the
what they
League of
want.
Shadows is like
That's what they want us to
League of
think,
Shadows is
Chris.
okay. Like the League of Shadows to me is like no, we don't share it. We have one head, and this person is trying to control the world on the underneath. And we're also League of Assassins, and that's how we fund our activities and things like that. Um, I guess this group, what name, what would be a good name for this group? I guess so you have the Red Lotus, you have the White Lotus. This would be the Black. Hmm.
I really just thought you were going to say the Black Lotus, and I was like, all right,
No, that's too redundant. Uh,
that's too
the
strong. That's too
Black,
strong.
yeah. Probably after some animal that is, hmm, I can't think of an animal that's a hybrid animal that's hybrid. I mean, there's League of Shadows, the Hand, the Shadows, the I
Well,
don't know.
Chris Zaofu is like Wakanda, so they're the Black Panthers. Wait, no, that would be the
What is
opposite. Nah, that's the wrong group. Never mind.
no. Um, the group of Black Panthers.
That's wrong.
Um,
That's the reverse of what we're after.
hmm. Anyway, I wouldn't mind if someone developed that story in the future of a secret league trying to control the different inner workings of the world on the shadows.
Hear us
Anywho,
out. We want more ninjas. It's very simple demand.
it's funny. I feel like every universe sort of has a group. So like DC has the League of Shadows, Marvel has this group called the Hand, and then the Ninja Turtles has the Foot Clan, right? Like,
Which
oh,
came
there's all.
first? That's my real question.
I feel like there needs to be one. I feel like if you put them all together, it creates a whole body of people, right? Because you got the foot, you got the hand, and then the League of Shadows is led by Ra's al Ghul, which means the demon's head.
I was thinking they could
So you
just
got
be
the
the
head.
shadow, right? That's not part of the body, but it's associated.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
No, but I mean, I
Uh,
like what you said better.
so if you got hand, feet, I guess that's really all you
I would
need.
like
Is
my
hand,
people
feet,
to
and
be the
leg.
stomach, you know,
Mm.
and we would
That's the
like to.
heart. I think the heart would be more indicative because it's kind of the center of them holding things.
Right, but I just want my group to be really focused on our next meal.
Yeah.
Always about sharing the food. We're going to take all of Gotham's food, and then we're going to let other people have it. It's going to be delicious.
Anyway, so they stealthily ninja in a ninja fashion, kidnap Batar Jr. and pretty much Korra threatens him. Well, no, first Suyin tries. Actually, first, no, first Korra threatens him. She threatens him by like trying to go in the Avatar state and stuff. And then he's like, I know it'd be threat. Like you're not doing anything. Well, I think Korra's super strong. Well, she does in the Avatar state, but I'm pretty sure she could lift him with one hand anyway by herself. I
I
mean,
get,
she.
yeah, I get no heat from
Hmm
Batar. She fine.
One hand. I mean, Korra's able to lift Tenzin and all three of his kids pretty easily. Can she? I don't know if she's strong with one hand. Can she curl? I
This
don't
is
know.
probably the meanest thing I'll say all day, but I assume that Tenzin's very light because they're vegans, right? So they.
Nah, he's like 6'2", and he looks pretty thick when he takes it. He's not skinny. Like I'm
mm,
giving him 200 pounds at least.
all right, fine.
Like he has that scene with the shirt off. He's not a skinny dude. I don't know where he's getting his protein
I
from,
don't either. I
but
not foods that I enjoy. That's for sure.
yeah. Um. Anyway, the so then one thing I do like, Suyin really tries to talk to Batar Jr. and I think it's a really good scene. I like these scenes in Legend of Korra where with these, I've talked about before, these family issues and everything. And then Korra's like, screw it. Like, I'm gonna make it my job to keep you from Kuvira. Like, I don't care. I'll go my whole life keeping you from her. And he finally caves in. He calls Kuvira, and he's like, "Listen, we got the whole world. We got Zaofu. We don't need Republic City." And while they're talking, Kuvira's locking in on his signal, on his location, and she figures out where he's at. And I do think Kuvira, I do think Kuvira is sincere in her feelings for Batar Jr. I don't think she's using him. I mean, it's kind of a win-win situation for her. But I don't think I think she does actually care for him. Because when she, says goodbye to him and stuff, like she does seem sincere. She doesn't do any smirk like, little do you know, I'm actually gonna kill
She's no
you.
longer being a
Um,
ninja for the sake of achieving a mission. She's trying to have a legit conversation. I buy it.
yeah. Um, Even so, she locks onto the location. It's funny, she actually asks, is the avatar with you? Because she is kind of now that she is just wants to know information. And now she has the information. She knows, all right, I could take the shot, and I could pretty much get rid of the only obstacle in my way. Um, but she does seem she actually does she actually tries to hold back these tears when she's talking to. She's not necessarily trying to hold back. I feel like she's trying to hold back tears. Like sometimes when I start crying about something, um, like when I was growing up, yeah, that makes it sound like I that makes it sound like I was trying to say I don't cry now. Um,
You heartless
I carpooling.
bastard.
Yeah. Um, but like when I was growing up, if you just close your eyes, like I'll also do this rapid blinking thing where I just rapidly blink my eyes. If I rapidly blink my eyes, that rubs the tears away. But
You sound like you're trying to like
before
bottle up your
the
pain. Like, listen, I know life's hard, but if you just blink really fast like this,
yeah.
it's not so bad anymore.
Yeah. When life gets hard, just blink your eyes really fast. Um, Anyway, Kuvira shoots down, and then you're kind of left with this cliffhanger of like, oh no, did they make it or not? And you're like, well, of course they made it. And that is essentially the episode. She shoots down that little location that they're in, and you're not sure what happened to them. But yeah,
So Chris, we already did these ratings, and I think when we look at these ratings, we're gonna say like, but you know what? I left them. Stick with your original gut instinct, like you're taking a quiz. We're just gonna roll with it.
all right, 7.5 on audio visual. I don't think much happened. I think I like the ninja stuff on this. Yeah, so 7.5. Story gave it an 8. Oh man, I knew it. And I'm just off of them. I'm consistent. Uh, I like the stuff with Kuvira and Batar Jr. Like some of the story elements. Um, there was something else in the beginning that I really liked. Anyway, I
um,
can't remember. 8
Woo,
out of 10 on the story.
Woo,
Maybe impressive,
Raiko.
sure.
No, okay.
Not Raiko. Memorable, a 7. This is very in between. Like I feel like this is I mean it's a good in between episode, but I feel like things start hitting the fan in the next couple episodes
That's fair.
in the finales of it. So 7.7 out of 10. I think I probably like this episode more than the score indicates. I think it's good. It's just, I just look at it objectively when we break it down like this.
Fair
So,
enough. Audiovisual 8.5. Like seeing the Big Mac come around the corner. Very sketch. Very scary.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
I don't remember that. It's been too long that I don't remember what music I was thinking specifically, but I even felt like there was some specific score in this one that I really enjoyed. But there's also a little drag time in there, so 8.5. Story 8.5. I do love that. I love the capturing of Batar at the end. And it's funny, it's Kuvira's Gambit, but this also kind of Korra's Gambit. It's like we're gonna like this is our
yes.
bartering chip
That's
right
what
here.
I meant to say. Yeah, I think the episode should really be called Korra's Gambit because I think by the end there, it really is Korra's Gambit. She's taking this
Yeah,
big risk at the end there.
K Gambit versus K Gambit. It's perfect. Uh, yeah. So and then there's a little bit of some kind of drag time in here, but overall, it's a good story. And then memorable. If I had to knock one down, I'd probably knock this one down because the memorable really is wrapped into the mech. Right, but that's fine. 8.5, good place for it, which naturally means my score is an 8.5, and that puts us together at an 8.1. And I feel like that's a good place for this episode. Like we're far apart,
Yeah.
but the end result feels close-ish to me, so that's fine. Chris, final thoughts on Kuvira's Gambit?
Final thoughts. Not having final thoughts. It was good. It was decent episode.
I would say my final thoughts are that we are going to do 12 and 13, not together in one recording, but we are going to do them back to back. So hopefully that's next week if there's no news or anything, or maybe it's not. But whenever we do 12 and 13, they will be back to back at a minimum. They do not belong to be in the same episode, but they do not deserve to be too far separated, if that makes
And
sense.
and of course, again, this is not, even though we're finishing up the series, this is not nowhere near the end of Avatar: The Last Podcasters. If you have any recommendations for future episodes, like our last episode was a recommendation from Theo, we are willing to do a couple other things. Other than that, I have a laundry list of still ideas to go through, and I want to get a guest for our pun or not puns and ships. Well, that's what we call the last one, the ships episode. So we got to do one for Legend of Korra coming up some point soon. So that should be fun. Look forward to that coming out in whatever next couple of months. We also are
It's
going
like
to
you
have
hate me.
to We're also, we have all the data. We'll be able to rank every episode of The Legend of Korra and in the individual seasons, and we'll be able to definitively say which is the best show on a ranking scale. So that will be fun.
We will definitively say which we critically scored as the better show, and then you'll listen to Shawn explain why he just likes watching Avatar better because he doesn't like things that feel more sci-fi.
People do still complain about like I still get comments from our ranking of every episode list, and people are like, "Why you guys have the beach so low?" And I'll be like, "That was Shawn. The beach is great. I love the beach.
The beach is trash, and I don't want that.
Oh man, I love the beach so
If you
much, more and more that
if you're listening right now and you're not watching, I'm making like threatening eyeball finger gestures at the camera. I don't want that in my life. Delaney, I don't want to hear it from you either. It's a trash episode.
it's a great episode. Love
No,
that
just
episode.
no, stop it. I don't
They
want to
did the
see
Breakfast
Azula
Club better
doing
than the
regular
Breakfast
kid
Club.
stuff. That's weird.
That's the beauty of it.
That's why
She's trying
no.
to flirt with the guy. It goes so horribly wrong.
I just that whole episode just feels like 8th grade and not in a good way. I'm not buying it. Get out of here, Beach fans. I'm just kidding. Don't get. I still love you, but I'm not changing my stance. I'm not going to tell you that you all have to agree with my stance, but I'm not changing my stance. Our founding fathers wanted me to hate the beach, Chris. It's my right to hate the beach.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks for watching. That's probably the weirdest episode we've ever recorded. There's at least 10 minutes on Key and Peele and 10 minutes on America being a top 10 country.
Top 10.
Definitely getting a timestamp. But hey, if you didn't get super turned off by this episode, come back next week. Let us know your feelings, thoughts in the comments, or as Chris said, suggestions for those post-Korra ideas. We're always looking for those and appreciate it. I'm Shawn. That's Chris Ford, aka The Objective Geek. This has been Legend of Korra, Book 4, Balance Chapter 11, Kuvira's Gambit. Thanks a bunch for watching. We'll see you next time.
Arigato.
Chris, I expect slightly higher quality beatboxing this time. Whenever you're ready, take a look. I put him on the spot now. It's embarrassing.
I know.
Welcome to karaoke with Chris and Shawn. It's over.